Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome everyone to the final revision of your EST for December 2023 test tomorrow, inshallah. Best of luck for everyone. Today we're not doing much. We've done enough so far. And today it's only a recap. We try to remember, just remember what we should do and how we should deal with the test. Of course, we have done it many times before, how to do the reading passages, how to approach the passages and how to approach the questions. We've done it quite often. And today we're not doing much, as I told you, because we have to relax before the test. Let's just do a little reading and a little writing test for you to just remember some basic rules, some important rules to be able to do well, inshallah, tomorrow in the test, for you to do well in the test. As I said before, just remember how you can approach the test. The first passage, ya shabab, as usual, is the narrative passage or the literature. Remember, what we used to do is that we read the blurb here. If it helps, welcome. If not, no problem. Let's see if it helps or not. This passage is adapted from Amit to Whoever, a Strange and Sublime Address, 1991, by Whoever, a 10-year-old boy named Sandeep travels with his mother, his aunt Mamima, and his uncle Chutumama to visit family in Calcutta, India. Fine. I know the name of the boy. I know who he's traveling with. I know why they're traveling. That's great. Sometimes this blurb gives you information that you need to know in order to understand the passage well and to be able to deal with the questions. Of course, we have to read the first paragraph really well for you to get to know what the main idea of the passage is. Then you pick up few lines from each paragraph just to form an idea of how the passage is structured, how the story ends, and for the last or the final paragraph, read the whole thing for you to know how things end. Then, I told you yesterday before the light went out, how to deal with the paired questions and how to deal with the vocabulary words. And we remember that we need to understand the question well before we approach the answer. We need to understand what the question is really about before we hit the answer. For you to do the best practice, I'm giving you 14 minutes only for this passage. I want you to do your best. Do your best dealing with the questions here. The passage here has 10 questions, I believe. Yes, 10 questions here. And when you're done, let's correct the questions together and see what you've done and discuss your answers and see what we should do. I'll be waiting for you when you're done. Good luck. See you in 14 minutes. Now, after you all finished, let's see the corrections. Question 1, the answer is C. 2A. 3C. 4B. 5B. 6A. 7D. 8C. 9C. and 10A. Now, please, if you've made any mistake in any question, send me the number of the question and I will explain it. For question 2, we have in the passage, the yogurt and sweetmeats are compared to what? Type. Before I answer this question, I have to go find where the yogurt and sweetmeats are mentioned. Where do you think they were mentioned? I have to find the lines where the yogurt and sweetmeat have been mentioned. I don't think it's here. No, where? Who's mentioning it? Line 35, you're perfectly right, Yasara. Thank you very much, honey. Look here. Once they were inside, Mamiya gave the pot of yogurt and the pot of sweethearts to the old lady. There was no need, she said. Oh, really? She said, this is too much, she insisted, with the air of one who has just received the Kohinoor diamond as a birthday present, like if she had received diamond. It's just yogurt and sweet meets. Okay, so that's why I picked the word jewel for the answer. They are compared to jewel. For question 3, the air. I know what the word air means, but I don't care about the meaning, you know. I care about the meaning used in this line, 37 and 40. These lines, these two lines. Let's check here. 37. This is too much, he insisted, with the air of one who has just received the whatever. Come on, come, said girl, with the air of someone who has just given whatever. With the attitude of someone. Here, the air of someone who, it's like someone is acting in a particular manner. So we cannot say atmosphere of someone who did, the absence, no, melody, no, the manner, like attitude or behavior. 4, the character's behavior during the gift giving mainly serves to do what? Type. Here, I will not answer this question unless, until I go find the lines first that mentioned what the question is about. The question is about the behavior of the characters during the gift giving and how it serves. Type. Where were the characters behaving to? Yes, towards the gift giving. It was here, and you all got it right. Let's see 44 to 46 what it says. 44 here. It was nothing, of course, only grandma's sweets and yogurt, but they fussed and created the illusion that it was something unique and untasted and unencountered. It was nothing. It was nothing. It's like they are saying they acted to the gift giving of these little things, the sweet meats and the yogurt, as if they were too much. It was nothing, but they fussed about it. They made a big chaos, not chaos, I mean, they made a big deal out of it and fussed and created the illusion that it was something unique. Type. What do these lines mean from here? They certainly means inflate or make it bigger, the significance of the gesture. Inflate is like to describe something bigger. You know, when you inflate a tire, you give air to it to make it bigger. So it's like exaggerating in describing the gesture. They acted in a way that's not logical. This is too much to say about some little thing like this. 7, over the course of the passage, Sandeep comes to view the adults as, of course, he meant they were immature. How do I get to this? Look here. What does Sandeep say about the adults? When they say, oh, no, Sandeep, meanwhile, had come to the conclusion that the grown-ups were mad. Each after his or her own fashion, simple situations were turned into complex, dramatic ones. Not until then did everyone feel important and happy. Will they never grow up? Who is he asking about? He's asking about the grown-ups, the adults. Will they never grow up? He asks this question to give you the notion that he sees them as people who are not grown-ups. They are not adults enough. So he sees them as immature. 8, Sandeep would be most critical of which action from the passage? Of course, that was here. Remember when he said this was 54 to 57? Here, this was half a token gesture toward modesty and half towards the new modern India, Nero's secular India, free of ritual and religion. Again, ya shabab. In question 8, the question is about how Sandeep would, what would Sandeep be most critical of? What action? Taban, here, he means that the lady's reaction to the gift, he was unconvinced of the fact that the lady was acting like it was something big. Oh, no, no, said whoever, struggling to keep the son's hand away from his feet. There is no need for all this. This was half a token gesture towards modesty and half towards the new modern India, whatever. So this means that Sandeep was critical, did not like, was criticizing the old lady's reaction to the gift. Finally, question 10, the word impression in line 72. What did it mean in 72? Here is the word impression here. I have to go back to the beginning of the sentence to see how this word is used here. Despite its bareness, the impression it gave was of austerity rather than poverty. The impression it gave here, it's used in a direct meaning, ya shabab. The impression it gave an impression of, so it's like a characteristic or something. Impression, yes, appearance, the thing that you see on something, the impression you get when you see a Mercedes, for example, caused by or is caused by how the Mercedes appears. Do you have any questions still here, Shabab, or shall we move on to the coming passage? Shall we move on? All right. Knowing your own reputation can be surprisingly difficult. This passage has questions from 11 to, I guess, 20, maybe. Yes, 21, sorry. From questions 11 to 21 on this passage, and you take, as usual, 14 minutes to do the passage. We don't need this. Make it only 14. Go ahead. Good luck with the coming passage. See you in 14 minutes. Let's see the corrections, ya shabab. 11D, 12D, 13B, 14B, 15A, 16A, 17C, 18D, 19C, 20B, 21C, and that's it. Please, if you've made any mistakes, send me the number of the question. For question 11, we have, which choice best supports the claim in the first sentence of the passage? For this question, ya shabab, to get the right answer, you have to know what the claim in the first sentence is. And when you know the claim, look for the sentence that supports this claim. Let's first know what the claim in the first sentence is. Knowing your own reputation can be surprisingly difficult. It means how to know your reputation is difficult. You cannot, or it's not easy to know your own reputation type. If we keep looking in the lines, we find that these lines say what? 54 here. Although you might have some sense of how smart your co-workers think you are, you appear to have no clue about which co-workers in particular find you smart and which do not. You think your co-workers think you are smart. At the same time, some of them might see you not smart. Okay? This means it is difficult for you to know your own reputation. This is an example of how difficult it is to know your own reputation among others. Question 12, the information about statistical measurements in lines 23, 27 is presented in order to do what? Here, the question is about part of the context. And since the question is about a part of the context, we have to read the whole context around it, not only this part. It's about 23 to 24, I guess, statistically, to 27. Okay. This is what the question is about. But of course, to get to know why this part is here, we have to read the whole context type. Let's see what was being discussed before and what does this part do. If people knew exactly what others were thinking, then there would be a perfect correspondence between predicted and actual ratings. If people were clueless, then there would be no correspondence between the two. Statistically speaking, you measure relationships like these with a correlation where perfect correspondence yields a correlation of 1 and no correspondence yields a correlation of 0. This sounds like an explanation or an example on this, to vindicate, to assure, to explain more. So the correct answer is provide context for a way in which the results of the experiment will be discussed. 13, based on the passage, in which situation would an individual stand the greatest chance of accurately predicting how he or she is perceived? And of course, this has an evidence. Again, ya shabab. The question here is asking you about what of these situations would be a great chance for a person to know exactly how others perceive him or think of him. طيب. If you look at 14 in lines 28 to 33. Let's see. 28, yes. First, the good news. These experiments suggested that people are pretty good overall at guessing how a group of others would evaluate them on average. The overall correlation in these experiments between predicted impressions and the average actual impression of the group was quite high, whatever type. These experiments suggested that people are pretty good overall at guessing how a group of others would evaluate them on average. These experiments, what experiments? To know more about what this sentence means. The closer the correlation is, so we have to know what the experiment is to get the extended time. Okay. Roommates. The group varied in familiarity with members of some groups being fairly unfamiliar with one another, such, okay, and the members of other groups being very familiar with one another. Okay, if people knew exactly what others were thinking, then there would be a perfect correspondence. Okay, this here gives you a context on how to answer the previous question. It was here. Okay, type. What does this mean? A manager predicts the collective opinion of employees about her ability, which means a group of people who work together, which is exactly what has been mentioned here. Okay, group of people, type. Look at the other sentences, the other choices. Why are they wrong? An intern predicts the impression that her direct supervisor holds of her. An intern and one only direct supervisor? No. The context was about a group of people judging someone and how this one might think they perceive of him or her. An instructor predicts the enthusiasm of his class after talking. It's not about enthusiasm. It's about how others see him. A biographer predicts the esteem in which he is held by the living subject of his book, not his book. It's about group of people. The word magnitude in line 35, what does it mean? Let's check together and see how it is used. Magnitude is here. To put that in perspective, this is roughly the same magnitude as the correlation between the heights of fathers and the heights of sons. The same magnitude, okay, the same measurements, I guess, something like this, or size or amount, something like in this regard. So the word magnitude could mean strength, influence, no, severity, no, reality, no, strength. Strength of accuracy. How people are accurate at guessing how others think of them. 16. The main effect do the words clueless, mind reading have on the tone of the passage is type. In line 38, when I mention the word clueless, let's see. Here it is. It is not perfect in sight, but it is also very far from being clueless. And also the word mind reading in 61. But perhaps this is holding your mind reading abilities to too high a standard. Mind reading abilities, clueless. It's about not being accurate enough. Don't think that you are too smart to guess how everybody thinks of you. They contribute to a casual and gently humorous tone that renders potentially specialized discussion more approachable. They give you like a humorous, like it's like mocking you, your mind reading abilities, you're clueless, you understand nothing. 17, these lines, the quotation in these lines, the author quoted in line 58-60 expresses which view of the study's result. طيب 58 to 60. People seem to have just a tiny glimmer of insight into how they are uniquely viewed by particular other people. Very simply, ya shabab, the question is asking you, what does this part or this quotation support? The quotation says that people are not very good at guessing how they are viewed. People seem to have just a tiny glimmer, very small feeling of insight into how they are uniquely viewed by particular other people, which means people are not good at guessing. Let's see something that correlates with this. They reveal that one individual hardly knows, almost know, what another individual thinks of him or her. 18, the main reason that the author includes the information about speed daters, job candidates, and teachers in these lines is what? I believe they should be examples on something to support the viewpoint. 78 is here. The same barely better than guessing accuracy is also found in experiments investigating how well speed daters can assess who wants to date them and who does not, how well job candidates can judge which interviewers were impressed by them, and okay, the same, which means the same like something. So it's an example on here. Some of your coworkers like you and others do not, but I wouldn't count on you knowing the difference. The same, barely, better. So it's an example on the previous sentence. I guess, yes, offer examples of situations in which a certain finding holds true. According to the figure, the mean correlation that most nearly approaches complete agreement exists between individual self-perception and what? Let's see. New acquaintance, well acquainted. Mean correlation, complete agreement is 1. Complete disagreement, new acquaintance. Okay, complete agreement is here. No one has reached complete agreement. Type new acquaintance. Okay, correlation between individual self-perception and those individuals. Type again, ya shabab, for the question to get to know where you should look. The main reason, sorry. According to the figure, the mean correlation that most nearly approaches complete agreement exists between individual self-perception and what? Okay, it is individuals, best correlation between individual self-perception and those individuals. A, okay, mean agreement is almost here. Not here. There is no agreement here. You see the difference? The agreement is either B or C. Individual perception and actual perception of those individuals by others. Okay, I think it is B more. The individual perception of how others perceive them and actual perception of those individuals by others. Yes, here. Complete agreement exists between individuals, self-appreciation, and the individual's production of how they are perceived by people with whom they are well acquainted. People with whom they are well acquainted, which is here. 20. Which statement best exemplifies the distinction made by correlation C in the figure? تاني يا شباب. Which statement best exemplifies or gives an example on the distinction made by correlation C in the figure? Correlation C is here. The distinction is the difference, okay? Correlation between individuals' prediction of how others perceive them and actual perception of those individuals by others. Okay, this is the reveal, sorry, no. To what degree are people able to predict how individual acquaintances perceive them? That's what the passage is mainly about, Aslan. So you don't have to think so. Oh, sorry. Sally expects that others will say she is outgoing, but many describe her as reserved. That's, of course, what the passage is about. People are not always good at guessing what others think of them. 21, information in the figure is most useful for addressing which question? Of course, this is again the topic of the passage that the graph supports. To what degree are people able to predict how individual acquaintances perceive them? We are done with the reading revision, ya shabab, and now we go for the writing. This time, I'm not explaining, I'm giving you the chance to do the first passage on your own. The first passage is questions from 23 to 33. So please do the questions from 23 to 33 here and take only 10 minutes. That would be fine. Good luck. See you in 10 minutes. Let's check the correct answers, ya shabab. 23A, 24B, 25C, 26D, 27B, 28C, 29B, 30B, 31D, 32C, and 33A. Please, if you've made any mistake, tell me which question played. Question 23, we take the sentence from here. Toward the end of the 400s, as the Renaissance was reaching its height, the height of the Renaissance. So its is okay because its matches its antecedent here, Renaissance. I wouldn't say it is or it's with apostrophe or even there because the noun is singular, not plural. 24, it was a triumph that added to Florence's reputation for. That's an idiom, ya shabab. We keep it that way. Reputation for, famous for. Sophistication and beauty. Yet the guide members were eager to fancy it up even more. طيب. Here, ya shabab, we're dealing with formal or informal expressions. Fancy it up, this seems informal. Make it look super rich, again, informal. Give it a wow factor, that's a very colloquial language or informal expression. So I would go for C because it says increase its splendor, which is much of a formal language than informal. 26, they wanted a series of statues to adorn the cathedral's exterior, placing high on, طبعا here we are talking about the status to be placed, that not placing. Placing refers to the doer of the action. Placed refers to the thing that has received the action. Like the difference between interesting and interested. I feel interested in the movie because the movie is interesting. So the movie causes the feeling, I receive the feeling. Here, we're talking about the states to be placed, not they will be placing something. So placed is the best answer here. '27, starting from here, even worse, they had previously used it. Who are they? What it is? I don't know. These are two vague pronouns, so we do not use pronouns unless they have clear antecedent, as we said before. So here, instead of saying they, and I keep thinking what they are, other sculptors have previously used it. And of course, it here goes to the giant, the nickname the giant. In question 28, the writer is considering deleting the underlined sentence. Why should I keep or delete it? Let's check. Even worse, sculptures, okay, chipping away material to rough out a basic shape, but giving up a mid-task. The marble came from, I will come back to you, Abasant. The marble came from the Fantiscriti quarries in Carrara, a small town almost 80 miles north of Florence. This sentence here gives you information about where the marble came from. This piece of information is not necessary for this part of the passage because this part of the passage is about the history of some sculpture, where it started, how it affected the surrounding environment, and so on, not where the material was brought from. It adds irrelevant information. That's why I will say delete, not keep. 30, sentence 3. Where should it be? Let's see what sentence 3 says. It starts with the word but, which means there must be contradiction between this sentence and the sentence before. But Michelangelo took on the giant with zeal and finished the statue in just 2 years. Since we say but, Michelangelo took it in with zeal and finished it in 2 years, it has to come after a concept or a sentence or a paragraph that mentions how difficult the job was. However, Michelangelo took it with zeal. He was happy to do it. And I believe this was mentioned here. Where's required and so on. So it has to be in the beginning of the paragraph, which means before sentence 1. $23 was A. I explained it. Where were you?
My laptop was disconnected.
All right, Habib. 23 was A. 31, which choice gives a second reason and additional support for the main idea of the paragraph? Since he says here a second reason, there must be a first reason, but we need a second reason and additional support for the main idea of the paragraph. We are on 31. So first we need to know what the main idea of the paragraph is. Then we check what the first reason is and, the first reason is, and get a second reason. Upon viewing the stunning statue, Guild members discarded the plan to hoist the statue to an exterior buttress. It was far too beautiful to be placed high above its viewers. After meeting with the city officials and... Okay. All right. Here's the first reason. It was far too beautiful and was unlike other Renaissance depiction of David. That's not the reason why they put it to an exterior. And more than 8 tons, far too heavy, far too beautiful, far too heavy. That's why they changed the plan. They discarded the plan. That's the second reason, I mean. 32. Starting from here, the members agreed that the statue should instead stand outside of Florence's town hall as a symbol and representation. This question is about redundancy. If you remember what redundancy is, repetition or unneeded words. Assemble and representation are almost the same. Symbolize and represent the same. Representation and symbolized, of course, the same as assemble only is enough. 33, the writer wants to revise the underlined portion so that the concluding sentence summarizes the main idea of the passage. We need to summarize the main idea of the passage. The passage was about a statue that Michelangelo worked on, and it was difficult. Then Michelangelo took the responsibility of working on it, and so on. Prestige. And Michelangelo was hailed as a hero in his own right for conquering the giant and giving Florence a fitting monument. That's what happened in the passage. And even the title of the passage is here, The Giant, Michelangelo's Victory. That's even the title of the passage. That's why this sentence is the best summary for the passage. Sorry, this sentence is the best summary for the passage. That's all for this passage, ya shabab. I believe we should take another one and finish here. I mean, we take the coming one and finish it. This will be the last thing we do today. That will be our final thing. Khalas, we are almost done. From 34 to 44, I just want you to do your best, please. I will not explain or correct any more questions. I don't want to bother you with too much explanation tonight. So please do your best and let me see what you're going to do. Good luck. See you in 10 minutes. All right, everyone. All I want you to do now is to check with me your answers and see what you've done. Listen carefully, please. 34, C. 35, D. 36, B. 37, C. 38, C. 39, B. 40, D. 41, A. 42, D. 43, C. 44, D. And that's it. Now I want you, please, to tell me how many correct questions you have got, or how many correct answers you've done.
Is there like some sort of like strategy on like the EST or something? Is there like a strategy?
Yes, there is. There is a lot of things you can do, and you came so late. This is not something I can answer today, but I will give you a brief on what you should do. What you should do, Faris, is first, do not hasten any answer. Take your time thinking. Use everything you have learned. In the reading, especially for the reading, do not approach the answer unless you make sure you understand the question really, really well. And don't waste your time. That's the basic thing I can do. I can tell you for tonight.
Thanks.
Welcome, Habibi. Best of luck. Anybody else? Okay, ya shabab, you have all my heart with you for tomorrow. I'm sure you're gonna make me so much very proud, and I trust you all. You've done great over the course. Everyone has done all his or her best, and I'm sure tomorrow will be your day and you're going to ace it. So best of luck for everyone. Goodbye, Adam. Please don't forget to...
Thank you, Mr.
Good luck, Yakim. Good luck, Habib. Welcome, Habib. You're welcome, ya Basbousa. You're welcome, ya Biba. Good luck, ya Habibti.
مستر
يا عم بالراحة يا عم، خضتني.
معلش انا اسف.
ايوه حبيبي.
المره اللي فاتت، الحصه اللي فاتت، انا حليت اللي هو الثلاث باسجز الباقيين، فكنت محتاج الاجابات بتاعتهم بس.
لا مش هديهم لك.
ليه كده يا مستر؟
مش بهزر، لا بجد، مش الليله دي يا فارس، مش الليله دي يا يوسف، قصدي مش الليله دي يا يوسف، سوري، لا مش الليله دي.
لا انا عايز اصحح.
انت هتمتحن بكره؟
اه
يبقى تروح تنام دلوقتي حضرتك، ما تعملش اي حاجه.
انا
اسمع اللي بقول لك عليه، ما
يعني ما
تعملش اي حاجه
تصححش
خالص.
الواجب، اصل انا حتى مش عارف انا كده حل صح ولا غلط،
يا
بس
سيدي
مش
مش مهم، احنا حلينا غيرهم كتير، ما ترهقش نفسك النهارده في اي حاجه. اسمع لو سمحت كويس اللي بقول لك، انا عارف انا بقول لك ايه. انا عايزك بكره يبقى
طيب.
ذهنك حاضر ومركز في الامتحان ومش مرهق، ما ترهقش نفسك النهارده خالص.
تمام يا مستر.
النهارده ما حدش يذاكر حاجه يا شباب، خلاص شكرا، مش عايزين حاجه من الدنيا اكتر من اللي عملناه. عايزك تروق كده بس وتركز بكره في الامتحان، عشان انا محتاجك بكره ذهنك يبقى حاضر، مش نايم متاخر، افطر كويس، مش ما تدبهاش، يعني ما تدبهاش قوي. المهم يعني ايه، تبقى واكل حاجه كده عشان مخك بيحرق وانت بتفكر. فعايزك اللي بيشرب قهوه يشرب قبل الامتحان، اللي بيشرب ريد بول والحاجات بتاعتكم دي عادي ما فيش مشكله. وافطر فطار خفيف، ويا ريت لو حاجه يكون فيها مربى مثلا، حلاوه، نقص جميله جدا. الكاجو ممتاز جدا قبل الامتحان، أي نعم هو بقى غالي جدا دلوقتي، بس معلش هي مره كل امتحان، وحبه صغيرين كده مش كتير. وما تديش حد، يعني اللي تجيبه خليه ليك انت. اهم حاجه عندي بكره تبقوا ان شاء الله مركزين ومصحصحين وفايقين للامتحان، عشان دي اهم عندي من المذاكره.
اوكي.
اوكي يا حبيبي. anybody else you're welcome يا استاذ جو. باي باي يا حبيبي، good luck. خلاص كده اروح. هل سوف تعتقونني لوجه الله؟ you're welcome يا حبيب قلبي، good luck يا جميل. باي 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 باي. يوسف زايد اتفضل يا حبيبي.
تمام، ازيك يا مستر؟
اهلا، ازيك يا يوسف، عامل ايه؟
الحمد لله والله يا
هنا من
مستر.
امتى؟
انا موجود اهو.
اهلا يا
كنت
عسل،
بشكر
اتفضل.
حضرتك يا مستر جدا على تعب حضرتك معانا والله.
يا حبيبي عادي، لا انا ما تعبتش معاك ولا حاجه، انا تعبتكم معايا. اهم
لا
حاجه بس
خالص
ربنا
والله.
يجيبه فايده ان شاء الله.
باذن الله يا مستر ان
شكرا
شاء
لذوقك يا
الله.
حبيبي، كتر خيرك، شكرا جدا ليك.
شكرا يا مستر، مع
العفو
السلامه
يا
يا
حبيبي،
مستر.
مع الف سلامه يا حبيبي، التوفيق ان شاء الله بكره. مين تاني عايز يقول ايه؟ يلا good luck everybody's leaving. يلا باي باي يا حبايبي، التوفيق ان شاء الله.